live picture of the big board at the New York Stock Exchange in just a few moments. Of course, the closing bell will be coming along with Dylan Radigan and Maria. The Dow coming into that, though, down about 49 points, doubling its losses over the past hour. Well, we're keeping a close eye today on the casual dining sector, and the reason for that is Darden Restaurants. The company has Olive Garden in there, Red Lobster, and they fell short on earnings estimates as well as revenue. Sales overall fell more than 2% at Red Lobster, even worse at Olive Garden, and overall that stock is a big loser. It's off about 7% in trade at this instant. So it's a good time to talk about the weakness there. I mean, they said there was issues with the consumer, so it's a good time to talk to TGI Fridays. That company obviously has got 800 outlets. They know what's going on with the consumer, and they're also in the process of telling us what happened on a closely watched experiment offering smaller portions at lower prices. Everyone said that would crush profits. Well, let's find out if it did. Restaurant analyst Malcolm Knapp tells us there's a lot of skepticism about whether you can make money by shrinking portions along with prices. But restaurants have been very pressured to find ways to respond to obesity in this country. Richard Snead is president and CEO of Carlson Restaurants, the company that owns the TGI Fridays chain. And Mr. Snead, thank you so much for joining us today.
All right, Aaron, thanks for having us.
Let me just ask you first, since we've got the publicly traded companies out there in your space getting hit so hard today, Darden off 7%. They're saying there was weakness on consumer spending at restaurants in part because of higher gasoline prices. Is that an industry-wide problem that you're seeing also?
Well, it's a category-wide problem, no question. I think we're literally about in our fifth quarter of a soft sales environment in the casual dining category. That's true.
And no sign of improvement right now, even though it's the summer travel season?
Well, I think there are, this is about the leaders. I think there's probably the largest variety or variation in performance around the casual dining category, maybe in the history of the brand. So, you know, there's a different level of performance in different places. We're actually fairly excited about what's been happening to us in the last 5 or 6 weeks.
All right, and let's talk a bit about this portions. Everyone thought that if you cut the portion size and the price, that would crush margins. Is that what happened, or are you about to say everyone had it completely wrong and this is time for a sea change in the restaurant industry?
Well, I think that they didn't have it completely wrong. There's a part of that was true, and we had some anxious moments and some real deep breathing in the early phases of this. So we launched Right Portion, Right Price at the end of February. We've been on it about 16 weeks. Now, the thing we're excited about is that we feel like we are bucking the trend or the performance in the category over the last 6 weeks. I mean, I would tell you right now that our guest counts are up 4 percentage points. Our sales are a solid 2.5% positive over the last 6 weeks. That's about 6 percentage points better than the category average on guest counts, and we're about 3.5 points better on comp sales than the category average. So we're pretty pleased with that. But I will say that we had some anxious moments in those early stages around March and April.
What about just getting rid of the big portions altogether then, if the smaller ones are selling well?
Well, I think you don't want to do that. We have an opt-in rate of about 14%, which means that 14% of the entrees we sell are the right portion, right price entrees. So, you know, there's still certainly a demand out there for larger portions and indulgence, as we like to say. That's what our business is all about. But we do see that about 14% of entrees, 13 to 15% of guests are choosing this. And we do think we're getting new guests. We think we're increasing frequency. And that's why we're seeing this huge increase in guest counts.
All right, well, Mr. Snead, thank you very much. And I know a lot of your comrades out there were certainly watching that very closely. A lot of the analysts telling us that was a crucial test. Thank you for being with us. All right, and now Mercedes-Benz riding a sales surge from that C-Class, but now unveiling a new version. And Phil LeBeau has the keys.